Hey guys, this is part 6 and 7. Tonight I'm doing part 6 and 7 of my sister was unalived with the man she met 3 weeks ago. So tonight I'm going to focus on a lot of things that I've been seeing. There's so much to go over still, but I'm going to go over some of the things that I've been seeing in the comments. So first things first, I never really did the upload an extra photo thing, so I'm going to try that. So I'm just going to point here and hopefully I'm able to put the photo in, but this is the guy who unalived my sister. Now, I'm hoping that I'm able to put the picture in there. If I don't, guys, forgive me. I'll try to put it in the comments or something like that, but let's go there first. So the man who unalived my sister was sentenced to 40 years for a double unaliving. He was already 42 years old, so that would give him 82 years, until he's 82 years old to be able to get out of jail. That was the max of the sentence because it was 3rd degree unaliving and then like some other things, using a hand, pew and all of that kind of stuff. As for her, this is major because so many people keep asking about this. As for her, she got time served. She got time served, which was technically 8 months. And the reason for that being is because they had to use her testimony against him because technically there was no one who saw it. So he could have potentially got off. So what they did was have her flip on him so that she could ID him as the pew men. And in exchange for that, they basically let her walk. It was actually heartbreaking because if you watch my other previous stories, you know that she was the one who set this whole thing up. So how dare they? And that was very hard because when they brought it to me, I was like, no, absolutely not. But then I had to understand after they broke it down, the detectives, like, listen, there's a chance that he could walk. So we have no choice but to go this route. So she basically got time served. Another main thing that I want to touch on, guys, is there's so many people that are in the comments basically saying, how do you know, like basically word for word what happened? Let me explain that to you. So a lot of you know watching the previous videos, and I'm going to go into a whole nother video in regard to my mom, but let's talk about this right now. So I spoke on, my mom with her addiction and things like that. So you could only imagine my mom was already in addiction. So can you imagine now knowing that her daughter was unalived, what that did to her? My mom literally was done for. Like when I say went off the deep end, as far as the drinking and drug use and all that kind of stuff, just a mess. My sister, for those of you that don't know, was the youngest of us 3. And you know how they always say, like, your parents don't have favorites, but we all knew that my sister was my mom's favorite. They were like this. The relationship was extremely toxic between them two, but they were inseparable. So that left me as the next of kin in line to be able to handle everything. So as far as like the investigation goes, so when the detectives were doing all their work and everything went through me. Everything, the phone calls, we got this evidence, everything that they were finding out, it was all going through me. The detectives were literally calling me for months, telling me how this went on. Also, there was cameras inside the boyfriend's apartment. So the cameras gave them pretty much a lot of the information. So you could hear the screaming, you could hear the knock at the door, you could like all of that stuff. You literally saw it all on camera and you could hear it. Now, I have to be honest with you guys. Some of the stuff, because that was my sister and I was still going through it and just so hurt, there was a lot of things that I didn't want to be a part of or I didn't want to see. Because I've had a previous family member who passed away, I knew how the investigation worked. So if you've been through this, you know that toward the trial or during the trial, they come with this manila envelope. And in the envelope is pictures of the actual crime scene and your deceased loved one and all of that. And I told the detectives from the beginning, please, please do not, under any circumstances, show me any pictures of my sister deceased. I was the one that was in control of everything as far as my sister's funeral went. And a lot of you guys don't know, but I'm actually a beautician. And so I was strong enough to even do my sister's hair the day of her funeral. Again, I was still in shock. So it wasn't hard to do because it still did not hit me that she was gone. Like, yes, she was laying there. Yes, she was in the casket that I picked out. Yes, she was deceased. But it's still, because you got to remember, I got her son and then I went right into planning a funeral. So everything was moving. There was people around every single day. So I never got a chance to actually grieve. So I was moving, planning, never was alone. Like, so I told them, do not show me the photos. I wanted to remember my sister the way that I laid her to rest. I didn't want to see her laying there. I didn't want to see the scene. I didn't want to see blood. I didn't want to see any of that. I did not. So I ran the entire investigation, went through me. So for the people who keep asking, how do I know how this happened, that happened? The detectives called me every other day, or when a couple weeks went by, I was the point of contact. When the trial went on, I was the point of contact. When they came to me with the plea for her and the sentencing for him, everything went through me. I also want to touch base on my sister. I got a copy of her death certificate, but I was not, and I'm still not strong enough to get a copy of her autopsy report. I didn't get a copy of the autopsy report because in my mind, I did not want to see the time that she was pronounced versus the time that they thought that she was pew-pewed. Where my sister was pew-pewed, it was like in her upper left arm and then her bottom torso. In my mind, I just felt like that's not an instant death. So I felt like it played in my mind, y'all. It played in my mind for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months. It played in my mind like, did she just lay there? Like, did she lay there just dying, like just thinking like she made the wrong decision or she shouldn't be there? Like, did she just lay there just knowing like nobody was coming to save her? Like nobody was coming. And I just felt in my mind like she probably just bled out because nobody came. No one called 911. Like, so I, to this day, have not ordered a copy of her autopsy report because I didn't want to see those times. I didn't want to see the time that they believe she passed away to the time that they pronounced her, like in between. My soul cannot take feeling like she just laid there and just knew that nobody was coming. Like nobody was coming. I'm going to leave off here and then I'm going to go to part 7.